Hi, and welcome to Million Dollar Monday. Today we're talking about the 100 Millionaire mindset. Pretty excited about it because it's really the thing. How do you have no ceiling? How do you have a business that is totally scalable so that there's no limits to your future? I'm now in the top 100 nominees for the John Maxwell Leadership Award. And here I'm going to tell you about a question that they asked me to keep moving up in the award nomination that's very specific to having no ceiling, being ceiling-less. And it's not just about the money. Yes, we're talking about these $1 million checks for profit with your name on it. And hopefully you'll get hundreds of these as you become a 100 millionaire and have that mindset. But it's not just the money, it's what the money offers. Getting to a place where you have choices, where you can choose to do what you want in the future, to choose to live the blessed life. When you look at prison, prison is a time without choices. Here's the bed you have to sleep in. Here's the sink you have to use. Here's the toilet with no walls around it that you have to participate in. Here's the food. Here's how your time will be managed. Everything is done for you, no choices. That's what jail is like. So I want you to have choices for the future. That's why I want you to learn how to go from 0 to a million fast. I have 9 companies, and the question I have to ask myself now that I understand scalability is, do these companies have a ceiling or not? I don't want a company with a ceiling. It's all about just feeling like you're free to keep growing and growing and growing. And in fact, these companies all work together to create that growth. That's a big part of the 100 millionaire mindset. In that John Maxwell Award candidacy, the question they asked me was, what was my greatest failure and the lesson that I learned from it? And I would have to say again, it's scalability. I kept getting into businesses that couldn't be scaled, where everything was on my back. When my first book hit the New York Times bestsellers list, I was thrilled when I got 250 speaking engagements. This was great. I had a big book. I can travel and speak. It's going to be awesome. Then I realized after about 50 of those speaking engagements that this really sucks. I got to travel the whole world. I had been to Canada, Australia, all throughout Europe, North, West, East, and South throughout the United States. And I was miserable. Traveling everywhere, it was unscalable, all on my back. As a doctor, it's all on me when I was just doing the doctoring. As a consultant, this is really where it got to be the worst, because we went and we had a board and I said, hey, how do you help us see more people make a bigger difference with our consulting? And the board, which was made up of people who had hundreds of millions of dollars and had the 100 millionaire mindset, said, this is an unscalable business. You guys want to have 1,000 clients. What would your life look like with 1,000 clients? You'll just be on the phone all the time, and really you're just teaching people how to steal your stuff and duplicate your business, which happened many, many times. And so I realized you got to focus on scalable things that don't require your efforts. Even as a doctor, you could have associates in multiple clinics, and I did. I've had over 40 associates over my time. I've owned as much as 5 clinics at one time, but very often you're just sort of watering down the service or moving people over, whether it's in consulting or as a doctor, to people that aren't you and can't reproduce the same results. Or, you're giving somebody a leader they didn't want, they wanted you. Again, not really scalable. So the idea is, how do we have something that really works without you that, again, has no ceiling? So I want to focus on several of the next Facebook Lives on this idea of the 100 millionaire mindset and scalability. But today is about the marketing. Think about the marketing. If your marketing is only really reliant on the calls you're making, the emails you're sending, going throughout the community and meeting people, writing letters, giving talks, if that's your marketing, it's you dependent. It's not scalable marketing. And if the business requires that, you really need to rethink your business. So for example, we use for my clinic, I see patients 2 hours a week, twice a week in a clinic. And we use the practice pilot. The practice pilot, without any of my efforts, fills up a talk every month for us in a dinner, and fills up every other month an advanced talk in the office. They send out an email, they populate my website, They do 5 days a week of social media. They make sure that we have a good reputation online. They engage my patients in the social media and the emails, and I do none of it. It's all scalable because somebody's doing it for me. The 0 to a Million Institute, a team of people through the software, promotes it, markets it, runs the Facebook ads, and it grows and grows and grows, and it has exceeded our expectations, really without me doing anything. I mean, obviously, I'll do a video, I'll write a letter, but the rest is done for me. It's scalable. It's not on me. It's not on my back. So if you want a real scalable business, one that can keep growing and growing without a ceiling, one of the first things to ask yourself is how are we going to get new customers, patients, members, clients, but not have it be all on you? How do we make it scalable so that you don't end up, as we said, in a prison without choices? I'm here to keep you out of jail. A big part of these $1 million checks that we're talking about you getting is keeping you free. So be blessed in your mission-based business and remember who you are.